Seize the day. Gather ye rosebuds while ye may. Why does the writer use these lines?
Because he's in a hurry.
No. Ding! Thanks for playing anyway. Because we are food for worms, lads. Because believe it or not, each and every one of us in this room is one day going to stop breathing, turn cold, and die.
Anyway, this is Terrence Popp for Redonkulas.com, and today we're going to pay homage to the late Robin Williams. I should have wore the red shirt, but this is a good Pop talking. He's going to say some not so good stuff. There's going to be no Yaz in this episode because this whole thing, total bummer. I'm kind of upset at the fact that everybody's focusing on the fact that Mr. Williams was depressed. There's a reason why it's happening, and no pill is going to cure it, and you're not going to escape it. And nobody really looks into the numbers behind what caused this cascade of tragic events. Because 3 children lost their father, a woman lost her husband, and all of us have lost a good dude. Anyway, with that being said, let us sadly begin. First, I want to talk about the man, Mr. Williams here. You need to see it in black and white. It's one thing to hear it, somebody talk about it. You need to just see the accomplishments. I talked to a couple of people who used to work for the USO, and when the war started in 02-03, the list became very short. They didn't want to go and risk their lives or life and limb or live in some of those wartime environments. But Mr. Williams, he went. I don't think he ever said no when they called him, because he did 13 tours. From the grunts, I'm a grunt, the guys who were on the ground slogging it out. I want to thank you for that, because it meant a lot to us. He got 1 Oscar for Good Will Hunting. I saw that movie and I absolutely loved it. The depth of his ability is beyond measure. And I don't think we're ever going to see, in our lifetimes, another actor come along with that kind of depth.
I ask you about love, probably quote me a sonnet. But you've never looked at a woman and been totally vulnerable. Known someone that could level you with her eyes. Feeling like God put an angel on earth just for you. Who could rescue you from the depths of hell.
He had 3 other nominations for Oscars, 2 Emmy Awards, 6 Emmy nominations, 6 Golden Globes with another 6 Golden Globe nominations, 5 American Comedy Awards, and during his lifetime, he had 55 different awards bestowed upon him for the entertainment industry, and 67 nominations on top of that. This is amazing. And on top of that, I looked up his charity work. I can't even put the list on here, it's so long. Everyone loved him. If he could do this and then he could end like that, it's terrifying. It could happen to anybody out there. This is somebody who earned his golden years. This is somebody here who deserved a break, to slow down, to be the old guy you ask questions to. And we missed out on that. You know, maybe you screw with him on the side, because I'm sure he had a great sense of humor on and off camera.
The thing is, your Scottish accent is so good I don't understand what you're saying. That's how good it is. Right, you're right away there. You think you're going to give me take a cat, put a finger in its ass.
And we're going to go into the reasons why, in my opinion, what they are in the second half of this episode. But right now, we're going to give Mr. Williams his taps in 21. And if I could, I would run the burial myself. So we're going to cut out now and come back.
Ready! Aim! Fire! Aim! Fire! Aim! Fire!
With that being done, and respect and honors given, now we're going to do it the Popp way, the Redonkulas way, and we're going to attach numbers. I'm going to go after his 2 ex-wives. who I call slags. Skanky, slimy old hags. Because they both aged off a cliff. Basically,
You know, he had financial problems, but he was really sick and he was depressed.
well, when you look at the numbers, you'll see why. As a man, when you walk into court, you're a loser. And then you get stuck paying for shit for the rest of your life. This isn't something you take a pill and get over. This is the real deal. Valerie Valdari, his first wife, he divorced her in 1988. No prenup was in place, but he was married, I believe, 10 years. So she got $50,000 a month for life in alimony. Most of us out there don't make that a year. That's $600,000 a year for 26 years. And that adds up to $16.2 million. Man, that's an expensive slot C. He supported her 2.5 times longer than he was married to her. Where's the justice in that? She is not starving at all. Nor did she remarry. Why would she? Because she's getting a $600,000 a year paycheck. Holy smoking Joe Frazier, that's just crazy. Even if he'd have paid it up for like 20 years or 10 years, he would still be okay because he would see a light at the end of the tunnel. But this is alimony for life.
And the judge said all the money. And we'll just shorten it to alimony for the people at home. Divorce from the old Latin word divorcarum, meaning having your genitals torn out through your wallet.
That's from the Latin. I didn't know that.
That's kiss your assets goodbye. I do.
Last I checked, Mr. Williams was not a priest. He's not a saint. All right, he's a man. Men do some things. Because we're stupid. No. Well, we are. And this second slag here, Marcia, was hired by Validari to be a nanny. He meets her. Things go down. Boom. He divorces her. Marries her. They're married 19 years. She decides she's going to punch out 2008 because of irreconcilable differences. Yeah, you got to love that term, irreconcilable differences. It's such a wide brush. It can mean almost anything. But wait. It means bullshit here. Based on this number, because they're married 20 years and there's 2 more kids and there's probably some animosity between these two, she probably didn't take anything less than $100,000. There is no justification for this because she filed for divorce. Because he relapsed into drinking? Okay, whatever. Nobody's perfect. I think if she filed for divorce, there shouldn't be any alimony. Getting pissed at somebody for relapsing into alcoholism is like getting pissed at somebody for getting cancer. Okay, so if you add this up, that's just $9 million in alimony to her. I can't find the number for the amount that he actually settled for in this state. However it works out though, I mean, she's not starving. She went from a nanny to a multi-million-dollar person right there. Mr. Williams named her as a producer in some of his movies. She can clearly take care of herself. Her net worth, $11.5 to $13 million. And she was still sucking him dry. Why would she need to be taken care of with this amount of money for this long? Why? I hope you're pleased with yourself now. I really do.
Both of us are sucking on nothing right now. That's it.
Nothing left to lose.
Nothing left to lose.
In 2009, he had heart surgery. He had a dance with death. That opens your eyes, changes your perspective. I've been there, okay? For all intensive purposes, I should be dead 3 times over myself.
Are you a vegetarian?
No, sir.
Okay.
But I do have a cow valve, which is kind of weird. I can't eat meat because it's like I'm one of them now. And the good thing about a cow valve is I can standing up.
So I'm sure he made a decision based on these numbers, because in 2009 he also set up a trust that would basically funnel almost all of his money to his 3 children, which he should do. As a father, you take care of your children, you will make sure they're okay. But that's a red flag. The guy signs over 85% of his net worth to his children, and nobody caught on to that. Okay, both of these women have alimony for life, so there's no end in sight. No end. $1.8 million in alimony just a year. Now, that doesn't include what he has to live off himself and the taxes on top of that just to break even. We're talking like $3.5 million he has to gross per year just to break even and be able to live and pay these 2 slags their blood money. Why are we men paying alimony for life for women who can clearly take care of themselves? Where does that line get drawn? Feminism? Because not one of you is speaking out against this. There's no retirement for him. There's no golden years, which I think he rightfully deserved. These numbers were put in place during his prime earning years. They don't take into account the fact when you get older, things slow down. His third marriage, I don't even know her name, but it probably wasn't going well because according to her statement, she saw her husband last at 10 p.m. the night before. Got up the next morning and walked out and left work. Didn't go on there to see how he was or see what's up, nothing. An assistant of his found him the next day. Okay, that's not really boding well to, you know, a loving wife, in my opinion. I don't know. So I'm not really having a lot of confidence in this one here. I think this one was going south too, and I think he could see it.
You don't know about real loss, because that only occurs when you love something more than you love yourself. I doubt you've ever dared to love anybody that much.
So we come to here. He chose to die on his own terms, instead of being a slave, to appease the pockets of two slags, I call them, slutty old hags, who wanted a piece of his ass. Forever. For life. He had the spirit, the money, and the drive to endure this for 26 years. How long do you think you would last? I'm thinking not that long. I'm surprised Mr. Williams was able to walk around with the amount of guts this dude had. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Godspeed to you. I understand. I hope you get to where you want to be. And if you don't, I got a friend of mine on the other side with one eye. He'll watch out after until I get there and we'll storm the gate ourselves. Normally, this would be where I'd ask for your subscription. But instead, I'm going to let Mr. Williams take us off. And on another note, I'm not monetizing this video because I refuse to make 1 red cent off another man's misfortune. That's just my opinion.
Please, don't worry so much. Because in the end, none of us have very long on this earth. Life is fleeting. And if you're ever distressed, cast your eyes to the summer sky when the stars are strung across the velvety night. And when a shooting star streaks through the blackness, turning night into day, make a wish. Think of me. And make your life spectacular. I know I did.